Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I wanted to talk on a video game that I had just seen on Twitter, where it's not no popular game, but I would imagine that after some time that it probably is going to be a little bit popular. Because actually the tweet where I seen it, I think that tweet has, more than a few thousand, almost 10,000 likes. And I just think that with a game like that being promoted on Twitter, that it's going to be promoted for the wrong reasons. Because you see a lot of racism on Twitter, and it's crazy how you don't see no rules or regulations with it. Like, you can call people the N-word, you can say whatever, do whatever, and I'm like, fam, this how is this allowed? Like, it is crazy. You only really see it on Twitter. You don't see this on TikTok. You don't see it on Instagram. You don't see it on YouTube. I'm trying to think of some on Twitch. You might see some cases of racism here and there and stuff, but other than that, yeah, you don't really see. Well, YouTube, I will say that I guess for me, I've seen a lot of different racism on there just because of the audience that I've had to deal with for over 10 years, but different story. We ain't gonna talk about that right now. But no, overall though, I wanted to talk on this game, and I also wanted to just talk on this weird obsession that white people have with being racist towards black people. Because I mean, throughout my time of being a content creator, I feel like that's really the only race that I've ever gotten into it with the most is white people. And I'm not saying that all white people are racist. I just want to make it clear. This ain't an episode directed to all white people. It's just the racist ones out there. The cool ones, the ones that can look at a black person and not, get all upset. And that's the thing. I don't even feel like it's like you're not talking about a racist person. They're not upset. I think that they're just doing what they possibly can, any and everything's in their power to, I guess, upset us, and now so I'm all like, fam, black people ain't did nothing to y'all, talking to a racist person. So that's why I'm like, when you see people like Chud the Builder and other racist, people on the internet, it's like, what is the reason for you, I guess, acting the way that you're acting? That's what I would like to know, so that's the thing. You can't have a logical conversation with them. All they just gonna want to do is attack and attack and attack. And it's like, meanwhile, we're just trying to get answers, so we can figure out what's wrong with you mentally. But anyway, so yeah, let's talk on this video game. So it's a video game called Plantation Simulator. It's a game, I guess, that's currently on sale right now. And but it has been going viral. I don't even think there ain't no sales. And then there's even another game called Tyrone versus the Cops. And I wasn't even going to talk on that game, but I had just seen it on the side, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, you would think that Steam would check these games before they allow them to be published on their website, but it just seems like that. I guess what matters, I'm not trying to blame Steam. I understand that they're trying to be a company staying in business. Hopefully by the time, when I guess they catch wind of it, they do take the game down, but I get it, they ain't gonna be paying attention to every single game that's coming out on Steam. But anyways, so yeah, like I said, game's called Plantation Simulator. And then it says in the mature content description that developer described the content like in this game, or like this, and then it goes on to say, in this game, you will be whipping black people to keep your farm productive. If you whip your black person too much, they will die. And I'm thinking to myself, I've seen a lot of different video games where I guess it's fighting against racism. And it's funny because you'll see where they'll talk on games like Wolfenstein. And I think there's an Easter egg in Red Dead Redemption 2 where you could kill some KKK members. And you'll see where people would trip about that. But I'm thinking to myself, that's a problem. Wolfenstein, those video games, they're a problem because they have you killing Nazis and KKK members, but it's okay for a game like Plantation Simulator to come out. And I just know that there are going to be people out there trying to defend it, and I'm like, okay, my thing is this. If we're just talking about this in a video game perspective, do you see yourself playing this video game for a long period of time? No, you do not. And let it be a video game. My thing is this. Now, I guess on a more racist perspective, let it be a video game in the opposite sense, where it's black people being slave owners and white people being slaves. You guys will have a problem with that. Or that's when you want to try to get all education on like, oh, historically that's not accurate and stuff. It's a video game. Nothing is historically accurate in a video game. So that's what I'm like. My thing is this. If you have a problem with it the other way around, that's how we're looking at it. We have a problem with it. Games like that shouldn't exist. And I know people are going to probably try to hit me with some Chud the Builder quotes and all that stuff. I ain't hearing that. You know, at the end of the day, if you're gonna have a logical conversation with me, to be a little bit, you know, I guess like act like you have a brain, you know, talk like you actually have a high enough education and stuff. But if you just gonna act like a child and things and think that trolling stuff's gonna work with me, fam, not here for the trolling. All right, I talk to adults, not kids. So, but anyways. But that's one thing that I feel like that I have seen a lot throughout the years, especially on Twitter. A lot of racism on the internet is a thing. Why is that? You know, and with Twitter, I mean, like, throughout my years of being a content creator, that's something that I always knew. That if you're a person of color on the internet, you're bound to get some racist comments. And, I mean, I had gotten comments because of me doing reaction videos. What else? You know, I've had people come to my Twitch streams trolling me on some old racist stuff. Trying to think of some other situation. Have I had people say anything racist to me on TikTok and Instagram? I don't think I have, but Twitter and YouTube has been the two spots where I've dealt with a lot of different racism. And then with Twitter, I don't really be like talking with people like that unless it's like friends of mine. And if it's like a post where I can add a meme to it, then that'll be the only time when I'm really talking with people. But other than that, I don't just be going out my way talking, especially with no racist person. I ain't got nothing to say to a racist person. So, but anyways, so like let's say for an example, you'll see a body cam video of a cop pulling over a black person, right? And let's just say the video, it ends off with the black person just getting a ticket, but they haven't like broken no crimes. It's just the cops like, hey, you were just speeding a little bit, I gotta issue you a ticket. All right, cool, no biggie, no problem. Black person's being respectful, cops being respectful, they go their separate ways. Explain to me why in the comment sections of this, you know, I'm not saying it's an actual video, but let's just say it was, but why is it that in the comment section of that tweet, people got to be racist. People got to say some racist stuff. And that's the thing that I don't understand. It's like they want to say something like, oh, I had a feeling it was going to be a black person being arrested. And I'm thinking to myself, why do you have to say some things like that? And I guarantee and I promise you, if you found something equally disrespectful to say about whoever that person is, they'll feel a certain way about it. And it's okay for them to feel a certain way, but it's a problem when we want to, I guess, check you on your racism. And that's the thing where I'm like, you know, and that's, I guess, when I look at a lot of different people on social media, that they'll never carry this racism outside of social media. They're okay with being racist on Twitter and YouTube and all of that. Because I check people on that. Like the times where I've had to deal with racist people, I've checked them. And I'm like, you know what? Wherever you're at, I'm pretty sure that there's an area of black people out there. Go there with that same energy. Because I'll never forget. I remember there was this guy. I've told this story before, but in case if you are new to my podcast. So there was this time where I was getting into it with this YouTuber and his fan base. He just really had it out for me, but he was racist himself, so that, or he is racist, so I'm like pretty sure, and they're like, oh, he ain't had like a change of heart, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, he sees everybody else in this world as being racist, or there is a certain group of people being racist, he is gonna try to fit in with that group, so, but no, he's been racist for some time, and he's promoted it through his fan base, and I'll never forget there was a time on Twitter where one of his fans had called me a monkey, and so I had said that, I'm like, you know, I see, because he had in his bio or description thing on Twitter that he lived in New York, or his location thing. So I say, you live in New York, go to Harlem with that same energy. You go out there and get into an argument with a black person and call them a delusional monkey and see how that turns out. And he's all like, why do you think they're going to be violent with me? Because they are. Like, that's the thing. If you think you know black people more than me and you're not black, I'm sorry to break that news to you. You will never know black people more than me. Never in life, especially you not being black. Okay, so, but anyways, I know how my people are, especially if it's on one of those things where if black people feel disrespected, they gonna check you on it. Now, there might be some that'll be a little bit more respectful, but there are gonna be some where they got to make sure that you never pull that mess again. So, yeah, that's why I'm like, racist people, they never carry that energy off the internet. They always want to just keep it on the internet. And that's even something that I've said, like, with people that I've gotten in, outside of that person, but other people, I'm like, have that same energy outside the internet. And I'll never forget the time when I got into it with a racist black YouTuber. And I had that same energy with him. And I told him, I'm like, okay, you feel all this, energy towards white people. I'm like, you go up to a white person and have that same energy that you're having online. I guarantee and I promise you, who knows? I'm like, they might try to fight you. They might not try to fight you. But at the end of the day, they are going to check you on it, and that's the thing where it's like, you got a lot of people on the internet that like they scared, they sissified and stuff. Like they don't want to. And I guess the thing is, that if they do end up doing that, then they end up being in a Chut the Builder situation. But maybe they might not have a gun, and that's why they won't do that, because they're all like, oh no, I need to have a weapon, I need to be protected and stuff. And it's like, nah, you have this energy where you can say whatever and do whatever, and ain't nobody gonna touch you, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to you. And it's like, so no, you have to have this same energy. But if not, then fam, stop being racist. Like I never understood how in the modern times, like, you see so many different racist people. I'm saying you see it in, Trump's circle. You see it outside of Trump's circle. You see it on the internet. You see it in video games. You see it any and everywhere. And I'm like, man, it trips me out where you see all these different people being racist. And it's like, why are you being racist? What had the race that you're being racist to, what have they done to you? Even when like Asian people were going through that like racist spell some years back, and it's like, there's a lot of people out there that was attacking Asian people, and it's like, what have they done to you? Absolutely nothing. So that's why I'm like, just even fast forward now, and it's like, you see a lot of people being racist towards black people online. It's like, we ain't did nothing to you besides mind our own business. We're not allowed to mind our own business now. So yeah, that's why I'm like, man, it really trips me out when you see just like all of just this like racist behavior and stuff. But like, these websites, they're not trying to do nothing about it. Like, and I'm telling you, with YouTube, I mean, I've been dealing with a racist audience for 10 years. YouTube ain't did nothing about it. And it's crazy how, like, they've gotten on me for talking against racism. Like, I'll never forget the time. Now, I'm not saying that YouTube is ran by racist people, but I do feel like there are some shady things that is going on with the YouTube website. But I remember there was the time when I had talked on the Kanye West shirts that he was selling, the swastika shirts that he was selling a while back. And YouTube, instead of, watching the video and actually seeing what I was talking about, because I wasn't showing support towards those shirts. I was telling people how crazy Kanye is for selling a shirt like that. But yeah, YouTube had took the video down, and I'm thinking to myself, so here I am trying to promote not being racist, and you guys take the video down. But a YouTuber and his audience, they can make all these different racist videos about me, say all these different racist things, and that's okay. That's allowed. You guys ain't gonna touch those videos because it's it's properly, quote unquote, properly made videos, or whatever reason they'll try to come up with. But I'm like, fam, racism is racism. It's like, and if a person is fighting against racism, you think videos like that would be more on the internet. And it's like, if you're trying to be a kid-friendly website, you would think videos would definitely be on the internet where it's fighting against racism, not videos where it's promoting on how to be racist. So that's why I'm like, with YouTube at times, it really trips me out. And then with Twitter, I'm like, I guess like when you got people like Elon Musk, because Twitter wasn't always like that. Like, I guess like for somebody that might have just recently got into Twitter and you're curious, like, how was Twitter years ago? Because I've been on Twitter for some years. Actually, fun fact, Twitter was the first social media platform that I had ever got into. I had a Twitter account before a Facebook account. I'm trying to think. I think I might have had my YouTube channel longer. Yeah, because I think I take that back. I think I might have had my Twitter account longer. I've been on Twitter a lot, because I think I got into Twitter when I was in middle school, I believe. I think when I was in the 7th grade, I think that's why, I created a Twitter account. So I was just kind of like curious to see. I think all I had did was follow Jim Carrey, because I think Jim Carrey at the time had a Twitter account. That was the most that I did. So, but other than that, I was like, I wasn't even really fooling around with Twitter as much. But even then, still, like, Twitter was kind of low key. You didn't really see a whole lot of activities going on. It was kind of quiet and stuff, and then as the years went on, and I felt like that was like, Twitter had built a reputation of like, that's the platform that you go to when YouTube shuts down, Facebook shuts down, or like not like shut down, but it's like if they're like not closed, but if it stops working for a little bit and stuff, you go over to Twitter. And I remember at one point, like, Twitter used to be the spot. Like, that was the hangout spot. Like, people made a living off of Twitter. But now it's like you see it and it's like, I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with Elon Musk being in control of that website. But other than that, I'm like, Twitter used to be such a normal website. And then, when he got involved, I feel like it was kind of like starting to fall off. But at the same time, it was like, I feel like it really started falling off when Elon Musk got involved. But yeah, and I feel like now it's just, it's like they might, if they do have any things in the guidelines about racism, they might as well just take all that stuff out. Because with the amount of racism that I've seen over the years on Twitter, yeah, it just seems like it doesn't. Same with YouTube, they might as well just take that stuff out. But Steam, on the other hand, it's like, okay, and I know there's gonna be people out there, they are gonna try to bring up Red Dead Redemption 2 and Wolfenstein and make it like, oh, they got missions in there killing the KKK. Are you really going to compare those games to a game where it's about whipping black people? Really sit down and think about that. Like, not on no trolling stuff, but I mean, really sit down and think about that. Then come back and talk to me. But anyways, with that being said, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode, and peace.